All right, the Supreme Court ruling late Friday that the Trump administration can pause full SNAP payments for the time being. This comes as the president says he is working on lowering prices ahead of the holidays. Lucas Tomlinson is live from West Palm Beach, Florida. Lucas, what's in store for the president today other than golf?
That's about it for today, Jonathan. You mentioned the Supreme Court ruling. Of course, 1 out of every 8 people in the United States depend on food stamps or those SNAP benefits, and some states had already awarded them for November. And on day 39 of the shutdown, before arriving here in West Palm, in Palm Beach, President Trump taking another shot at Democrats for what he says are keeping the government shut down.
We have a shutdown, as you probably know, because the Democrats have gone, they're crazy. They're crazy, but they don't care if they hurt the country. But we've approved it 14 times. We've approved opening up 14 times, and they keep rejecting it.
Now, President Trump indicating he doesn't want to play ball with Chuck Schumer's new plan, as we heard from Chad, to open the government, saying he wants Congress to revamp health care, saying, I am recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. Of course, abolishing the filibuster is part of President Trump's plan for the government to reopen because only a simple majority will work. And you mentioned off the top, Jonathan, affordability, something the president was touting before departing for Palm Beach.
Walmart just announced it 2 days ago. 25% cheaper this year will be cheaper to have Thanksgiving than it was a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden. If you look at affordability, which they campaigned on, they lied.
But not so fast, according to a community note on X saying missing context. The 2025 Walmart Thanksgiving meal contains 15 items, while the 2024 meal last year contained 21 items. Additionally, most of the brand name items in the 2024 meal were replaced with great value items. Now, inflation is currently sitting at about 3%, Jonathan. That's a far cry from the high of 9% under the Biden administration. Remember, interest and inflation is compounding. So you have to, all that is on top of one another. So while 3% is much better news than it was during the height of the Biden administration, it's still not quite the 2% rate that the Fed wants to see, Jonathan. The Trump administration hopes deregulation, tax cuts will help, and higher wages will help bring prices, help Americans help their purchasing power, really. But the New York Post editorial board saying prices don't come down. You can only hope with some help from the administration.
For sure. Lucas Tomlinson in West Palm Beach. Thank you, Lucas. For more on the government shutdown, let's bring in California Republican Congressman and House Transportation Committee member Kevin Kiley. Congressman, very glad to have you. I'm sorry you're not here on set with us in your beloved California, but I applaud you for staying in D.C. trying to get things done. On the subject of which, why the heck can you not get things done? You, meaning Congress as a whole, get things done for the American people. We heard in Madison Scarpina's reporting, people are just fed up. They don't care about the arguments. They don't care about Republicans versus Democrats. They care about putting food on the table. They care about getting to where they want to be. Why can Congress not fix this?
That's a great question. I couldn't have said it better myself. The frustration, I think, of the American people right now is at peak levels. I saw a poll showing that Congress has a 13% approval rating right now, which is about on par with what the American people think of Kim Jong Un or Vladimir Putin. And it's no wonder when we have all of these problems cascading across the country with millions of people being negatively impacted, with air traffic controllers who are now having to do these incredibly stressful and demanding jobs while thinking about how they're going to pay their families. Some of them are having to go drive an Uber after work just to be able to make ends meet. And why is all of this happening? No particular reason other than that Congress is not doing the most basic part of its job, which is to actually keep open the government that the taxpayers themselves are paying for.
So why can it not get reopened? I mean, Republicans are blaming Democrats. Democrats are blaming Republicans. Surely the watchword here is compromise. Why the heck can you guys not find a compromise?
Well, I think that's exactly the explanation, is that all of the energy has been devoted to trying to blame the other side. This has been the narrative that each side has tried to create is about who's winning, but no one is winning here. When you're looking at people who are losing their SNAP benefits, when you look at, 1 million plus federal employees being furloughed or missing paychecks, no one is winning here at all. What the American people want, as you said, they don't care who's to blame or who's winning. They just want to make sure that they're able to get access to the benefits that they deserve and that the government is actually open. And I'll add, by the way, I don't think it has helped in any way, shape, or form that the House of Representatives has been recessed for the last 6 weeks, has actually canceled 6 weeks of session that we were supposed to be here. Now, we did pass in the House this clean CR that I voted for that would open the government, and I wish the Senate would just go ahead and pass that as they had the opportunity to do many times now. But the fact that the House isn't here, I think, has made it harder to find some common ground to get us out of this mess.
So you would ask Speaker Johnson to recall the House?
Not only would I've asked him to do it repeatedly for the last 6 weeks. There's no justification in my view. And honestly, it's Republican voters, I think, who should be most upset about this when they actually delivered a Republican majority. And now that's being wasted because for 6 straight weeks, everything that was on the agenda, all of the legislation we were going to mark up, all of the important oversight hearings have actually been canceled by the Speaker of the House. So that's a big problem, in addition to the fact that we're not here to actually play any constructive role in getting the government back open.
So we talked about compromise, Congressman. Could you suggest a compromise here that might get Senate Democrats on board? And I know, obviously, you're not in the Senate, but so what's in your head that you think might be a compromise that people would be willing to consider?
Yeah, so I'm actually coming out early next week with a bipartisan bill, along with my colleague from California, Sam Liccardo, around this issue of the ACA subsidies, which makes it a temporary extension, time-limited 2-year extension, but importantly also includes reforms that cut costs, that control costs, and that prevent fraud, and that actually pay for some of it as well, so we're not going deeper into debt. So we're going to be releasing that soon here. I think that's the sort of compromise that might actually create momentum to get us out of this.
All right, Congressman Kevin Kiley from the great state of California. Congressman, thank you, and thank you for staying there in D.C. and at least trying to get things done. Thank you, Congressman.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.